Hello, friends. Welcome to Nirmal Bang. I'm Piyush Jain, and today I'm bringing to you a company which is going to get listed on the bourses in a couple of days. The name itself is interesting. The name is Pakka Limited, and we are talking about a sustainable packaging solution here. Now, what sustainable packaging means? Are we talking about an environment-friendly concept? Is it something which you should really take note of? Something which is perhaps taken very seriously in a lot of export countries? How's the business looking? There are so many interesting points we're going to talk about in this conversation. To understand all of that, let me now welcome the management, Mr. Jagdeep Hira, the Managing Director and India Business Head, and Mr. Himanshu Kapoor, the Director of the company. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jagdeep sir, let's first start with you, and let's start first with the most interesting sort of point here about the name, how this name came about, and also how has been the journey for you, because sustainable packaging is something the idea doesn't come overnight. What has been the experience? What was the reason? How has been the idea picked up by your clients? Please help us understand.
Yeah. Foremost, I would say it's a Pakka, transformed from Yash Papers, then Yash Pakka, now to Pakka. So Pakka states packaging with the soul. That's the tagline. If you see within Pakka, KA is a Greek word which is soul, and packaging is our domain where we come from, and which has to be a compostable, which is the vision of the company. And if we spell PAKKA, KK
Oh,
is
wow.
our
So which you're saying the meaning is soul, right? The word is
yeah,
synonymous to a Hindi word. So I will actually then say it is paka. Like it means
Pakka.
soul.
So
Oh, very nice.
packaging with the soul. It's packaging with
Sure.
the soul. So KK denotes the name of our founder, KK Jhunjhunwala. So
Okay.
that's where we got this name evolved. So in Hindi, if we say Pakka is Pakka also. So whatever company do is thoroughly Pakka. And having said that, it's Pakka now. So we transformed from a small city based Ayodhya. We have 42 years of initially paper manufacturing legacy, and then we thought getting into that domain won't give us and our vision a higher pitch. So we transformed our product profile. So we got into a compostable range, paper, flexible packaging, and molded products. So we
Okay.
transformed the products initially, and then we transformed the company's name with a brand. If you within packaging and molded products, you might have heard the name Chuck. So that's our brand for the molded
Okay.
products. This goes in a delivery, restaurant, QSRs, delivery. Zomato is banging on us for the delivery containers and all that. So that's the journey where we come from.
So right now your products are catering to restaurants, to FMCG also.
We have a greater client base, and those clients have been with us for compostable packaging since last 5 years now, since we started. So Chayos are one, Haldirams are the biggest one, and
Okay.
Chai Points are one, Saraswati Food Caterings are one. So those are the client lists what we have.
Right, and I'm trying to basically say in as naive language as I could. So, like, if suppose our viewers are imagining the product for Haldiram, let's say again, the most easier to understand.
Yeah.
What would basically the packer be making there?
So Pekka had transformed Haldiram's delivery segment, which used to be either plastic trays, and then you had a plastic banana leaf sort over there. So they have eliminated that, and now all of their QSR service, quick restaurant service, where fast food is their bigger uh, part of business, is on to Chuck. So these are plates, fiber molded plates, Vegas fiber, which is our main strength, raw material, sugarcane waste. Uh, that's our main strength, and we convert Vegas into Vegas pulp, and then finally the products. So the plates, the bowls, the cutleries. So these are the products.
Very nice. And from here, basically, even if this is the sort of product segment, geographical expansion perhaps would be a big opportunity. So help us understand where you have already reached and
Yeah.
sort of where you want to expand to.
Yeah. Pakka being one and the only one in India, pan India, across pan India, we have the infrastructure end to end. That means we are integrated. From raw material, we got onto a pulp manufacturing and then the final product. So we were third in the row in 2017 when we came up with this relatively new technology at that time, converting a bagasse-based fiber and the pulp into the moldeds. Over a spread of 5 years, now you have around 38, 40 players. More of them are unorganized, dependent on the purchase pulp and the fuel purchase power as well. So if we see, we have grown from almost initially we were doing around 7 CR of business, and now last year we did around 56 CR of business in the molded segment only.
Okay.
Out of 420 CR of total business accumulation, and so this is a pace where we had grown, but we see it a bigger market than what we estimated when we put up the plant. So we are growing vertically as well, organic and inorganic as well. So we have approximately 3 sites where we are getting our products made out through a contract manufacturing, because we have the limitation of not because these machines are Chinese machine, we expected them to operate at around 80-85%, but still we are able to do it at around 50-52% only. So we see it happening over a time because that technology was relevantly new technology to us. We have initially come out of that scenario that now we know the technology, how it operates, what are the nitty-gritties of those technologies. We have a good hold of it, and we are growing at a much faster pace to get onto that 80-85% of total plant efficiency. But besides this, as we see the market growing at much higher speed, so we have gone out where and the model is asset light, where we are getting contract manufacturing done, and this business, only the molded business, growing double the capacity what we did last year for this year. So
right.
To back
Sure,
this,
please continue. Yeah.
to back this, there's a huge demand where multinational companies are looking for sustainability, compostability products.
Absolutely.
So we have one capex coming up for India location at Ayodhya only, where we are expanding heavily, and another one is coming at Guatemala, Central America.
Right. And have you, like, how's the sort of export market looking to you? And have you been able to sort of make significant inroads into that?
Yeah. So strategically, we are not looking for a molded products as an export market because they are very lightweight. The bulk density is very low. So the freight costs are too high in that, because you can imagine a container stuffing around 4.5 tons, whereas any other product stuffing at around 12 tons within a container is less than a half. So the freight goes high. Specifically for Indian region, we are looking out to supply from Ayodhya plant, and Guatemala was with the concept of serving Americas. So where we are targeting North America, and then we are also looking at possibility of putting up somewhere in East Africa, Uganda, probably one, or
okay. So let's revisit where are each of the plants located?
So right now we have in Ayodhya.
Ayodhya, okay.
Yeah, and we have a distribution channel through our partners for the molded products. But if we see the paper side, so we have grown in last 4 5 years in between COVID, from 19% export to 27% of export. So that's again going up trends.
Right. And outside Ayodhya, do you already have plans? Like
No,
outside India, do you already have plans? As you
so
were just talking about.
the Guatemala will be up and running in 2.5 years time now.
Okay. So after 2 years, in about 2 years, you were talking about 2025?
27.
Oh, 27.
So
Okay. Awesome.
that's what.
And
The
and
raw
also
material.
from the East Africa perspective, you already finalized?
No, we have not, but we have gone out, looked on the uh, possibilities of getting a kin, which is Vegas, out there. So there can be a possibility once we are almost done with the project at Guatemala. So at Guatemala,
So
we have already tied up for the raw material for 10 years. So that has been
very
done.
nice.
Land
Very
is
nice.
being land is being looked at. So we have selected around 6 sites in a month or so, or 2 months probably we'll finalizing the land.
Okay. Let me come to Himanshu ji now. Why basically getting listed on the two exchanges? The obvious answer would be to get a better coverage and better visibility.
I think definitely what you say
Right.
is correct.
And also from the perspective of being listed on the bourses, what sort of advantage you have seen? Has the brand image gone up, or is it sort of easier to sort of fetch investments? How it has really helped you?
See, the basic thing is that our plans are very audacious at the end of it. So for and being in paper industry and in compostable packaging specifically, the capital requirement is tremendous and huge. So for if I put one rupee as capital deployed in simple terms, I can only turn it around to a 1.5 to 2x turnover. That is all. So at all point of time, I require capital, and cost of capital in today's world, specifically with the interest rate going up, is very huge in terms of putting up bigger projects, and these are not smaller projects which we are trying to put up. So definitely,
Himanshu, did I hear you that the asset turnover is around 2 times on the plant?
the sales turnover is
The sales turnover.
2 times
Yeah,
the cost
yeah.
of it, basically.
Yeah, that's slightly less for your business. But why would that be? Because you're operating at less utilization and that can go up, or like how it is?
Paper business moved like this only. Paper business, it runs between 1.5 to 2 times of the total investment once you come up with greenfield products. It's basically over a period of time, 5 or 10 years, that it goes to 2.5, 3x because of the inflation happening. But when you start or conceive a paper project, it's normally 1.5 to 2x. And that is the bigger thing, that why we need to go and get listed on the stock exchanges, so that we also develop that resource of optimizing our capital, and also, sort of rewarding our shareholders at the end of the day with the performance which we got.
Okay, fair enough. And coming back to Himanshu, so how basically you're looking 12 months from here, like what the company is really aspiring for? Because you are in Americas, you want to be in Africa, you're in India, expanding the distribution channels. How you're looking at the company now, like 1 year, 2 year down the line?
I think things are still in the go-ahead place. We don't expect anything much coming from the North American business for the next couple of years at least, because that's a greenfield project. I think by 2024, maybe we'll be able to tie up the financing there, 2024 March or maybe June 2024. Then it's a 2.5 years construction process of a greenfield project. So that is only the development. In terms of India, Jagdeep has already mentioned that he's coming out with an expansion in Ayodhya, which should get completed within the next two and a half years, basically. So business-wise, I think we are on a steady place in terms of growing up of the expansion and coming from smaller towns and then coming on to the big bourses. So we have really announced that we are on the big bourse now. But to actually implement it into numbers and real numbers, what we are talking about, it will take at least a couple of years.
Sure. I have a question, Jagdeep ji. Why Guatemala was chosen? And I know like there is Nicaragua, Guatemala. and then basically you have Venezuela, like a lot of nations around there. There's a lot of activity. But why actually you chose that particular country?
Yeah, uh, I think since over 40, 42 years of the time span what professionally we have learned and we have gained is Vegas. So we were on a hunt and look for once we thought of getting a bigger expansion because the vision states that we want to lead this compostable market. So we were on the hunt for the location where the Vegas is surplus. And if we look from top down line, Guatemala is on the top fifth exporting sugars. So we looked at Brazil, we looked at Nicaragua, Mexico, then Guatemala. So and they were surplus. The Vegas alternative is power generation. So it's either used for power generation or for paper or for molded products, sort of the same life chain cycle. So they were generating power out of that, and Guatemala, as whole of the country's power surplus,
Right, sir.
the
And
opportunity was much bigger there.
sure, sir. Right now, sir, basically, so what's the sort of, I would say, average revenue growth you are expecting to clock over the next 2 years from the India operations, and as the South American operations start, what is the sort of growth you're expecting from there?
So we over quite some time now we are setting a benchmark for the industry on the EBITDA levels. Last year we did 23%, post that 24, 26. And looking at a relatively competitive benchmark, we are at a good place to enjoy. Having said that, we are not going to stop there. I think so. There's a self benchmark for us now to move ahead over 23-24% of EBITDA levels.
Right, sir. Even the metrics basically they are almost looking good, and I would like to ask for the benefit of our viewers, how you're able to sort of command almost 10 to 14% net margins, because even the operating margins are good, 20-25%. If you take a look at the return on equity, that is actually 20% plus. These all actually are some metrics which are really liked by investors. So, how basically you're able to maintain that? How the sort of operational cost intensity?
I'll first give a chance to Himanshu to speak out, and then I'll speak aloud. How do
Sure.
we do? What do we do?
I think it's more basically because of the teamwork and the performance and the planning and strategy that happens into the entire portion. That how do we retain our customers? How do we service our customers? What kind of customers do we have? What is the negotiation with the suppliers, basically? So, what we have learned over the last about 4-5 years, basically, is that transparency is the key. And if you are transparent at all ends, that pays at the end of the day. And I would say that is the major impetus, and then definitely the performance of if you see the company in the last 6-7 years, the company has gone through a U-shift, and it's because of the professional leadership coming into place, with Jagdeep being the managing director, and definitely the promoter taking a back step and only doing to the portion of his dreams, basically, which is to leave the better planet, and everybody playing to their strengths. So I think that is the key to success, and enabling team members to take decisions, not be afraid of taking wrong decisions at times, supporting them has been the key and the culture which we propagate all across. Back to Jit.
I think well summarized by Himanshu. The major, I would say, the key of success. If we see, we have numerous team is there, efficiencies are better. But if I have to spell out one thing, I think that's the customer. We give a customer a competitive edge over their competition. Not in terms, not restricted to quality or the cost, but giving added advantage over and above these two parameters. So very focused, and you would be amazed that our customers are with us since last 30 years now. So if we have to see a
It's a long time.
predominance, yeah, so 80% would be our long-term customers since over 30 years, 25 years. So that sort of, I think, partnership we have built up, and our partners who are dealers, I think they are also part of the company. So we are very transparent, very open guidelines, very open policies we make with them, in coordination with them to serve the market. So that's the key focus. And as Himanshu said, we have been rated among top 50 for Great Place to Work. So the team is so dedicated, so much dedicated. I think you are most welcome to visit us, see our culture, how do we operate. But someday you will visit us for sure. And that's the second pointer to us. So we are taking care of customers, we are taking care of our team take care of the performance, and vision is already set that we want to leave this planet a greener planet. So we have performance coming out of the people, the environmental concerns are getting rested.
Sure. My last question, and that question perhaps will come from my research background. I'm just thinking what the viewers actually would be looking at the stock after hearing the entire conversation, and what they'll see. The return on equity is more than 20%. The margins are looking good. Operating margins are looking good. Companies expanding into international markets. Companies into a nice sustainable sort of sector. Companies also doing well in distribution channels. I'm trying to summarize everything here. And then I go back actually and look that companies now getting listed on NSE, but the valuations actually are not really getting reflected as per the return on equity. Is that something which the internal management is also recognizing?
Yeah. Very rightly pointed out. So getting on to NSE, your earlier question, why we got listed on the NSE, that was the major point as well. So the visibility of the company to the world was getting restricted to being on BSE. So that was a major point. And having said that, because we transformed in 2018 from a prepacked background to a compostable packaging for food, so I think that's also going at a pace, but not the pace what we look forward to it.
Well, with that thought, perhaps I think this perhaps could be the start of sort of a renewed, a more interested sort of look as you now will be present on both the exchanges. So I think we'll extend best wishes for the journey as basically it keeps moving up, and we hope to stay in touch with you towards the sort of next set of quarterly results. But for now, thanks a lot to both of you for coming on the show. And we hope to basically see you again on our show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Piyush.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
And with that, dear viewers, it's a wrap on the show. Hope you enjoyed it.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.